Welcome in, everybody. I am your host, Matt Novak. On the second mic, my co-host, Grant Hawker, with me as always. And joining us on the third mic tonight is our good buddy, Mike Connor. What up, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. Good to be back.
Long time no see.
Long time.
It's
been a few weeks for sure.
Yeah.
Jameson not able to join us tonight. Hope he's healing up from his procedure today. Feeling a lot better. Probably heavily medicated, if we're being honest.
We should call him in. We should call him anyway.
I was going to say, could be entertaining right about now.
Give him a little call. Let's see what's up.
Yeah.
No, we'll let him sleep this one off. He definitely needs it. So we'll see you next time, buddy. Got to get right into it. Week 10. This was trade deadline week. I won't lie. I was watching it constantly. We definitely watched a whole lot more trade deadline than I did election news. Got some thoughts on that in a moment. But trade deadline was, I honestly, it wasn't the deadline, right? It was all the things that happened moving up to the deadline. Because deadline was a little lackluster. There was the one final trade that everybody kind of been watching for a couple days. That involved the Commanders. But everything coming up to it, I mean, some great moves by some great teams. So we're going to get right into grading some of that. But want to talk about the best move on the trade deadline. Speaking of teams that did a good job, Marshon Lattimore goes to Washington. And love this move for the Commanders. Absolutely great fit. Gets a whole lot of salary out of New Orleans, which makes a ton of sense. I know. I mean, Washington, we've all been watching, like, they're winning offensive battles, right, guys? Like, that has been the consistent thing is Jaden Daniels got to score a bazillion points or they're not going to win. But I love that you're going to get a guy who, yes, is a little older, got the clear veteran status. This is a six-time, all-pro. But he's still got plenty in the tank. This is still a top 10 corner in the league. And they addressed the biggest need that they had. That you had to go get somebody that could slow down a number one receiver or shut down a number one receiver. Love that.
Well, I love it for Dan Quinn too. Like, he's got his experience with corners, great corners, and it just shows that this team they're good. They're wanting to win this division, and they think they can do it.
Well, and they get into shootouts, right? So if as long as you have that corner that can stop that one third down play, sometimes that could be the difference in the game.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. And so going and getting your guy that can do that.
Right.
This is huge for them. Like they're moving. This is all in. Right. This is them going like, we're good to go right now.
Right.
It's the definition of an all-in move. You took on a whole bunch of salary, which they can actually afford right now. Yep. Some people questioned why they didn't make some larger splash moves in the offseason. They felt very confident about their young team. Rightfully so, sitting at 7-2 and atop the division, competing with the Eagles right now, who are at 6-2 but already had their bye week. They've got the Giants in the rearview mirror at 2-7, the Cowboys, who we'll get into a little bit in a moment, at 3-5. This is their division to lose at this point, and especially with that move. So I love the move. Grant and I talked a little bit on last week's episode about Deontay Johnson joining the Ravens. Loved that move for the Ravens. Brilliant. We're recording on Thursday night this week, a little later than we'd like to. That's 2 weeks in a row we've done that. But Ravens just finished off the Bengals 35-34. Needed all the offensive firepower they could get.
Yep.
Deontay, I know, played tonight. I don't think he had a ton of reps. They're working him in a little bit. But got that dub, and they made some solid moves all the way around. Still, they did not play their guy that they got at the trade deadline, Tre'Davious White, they picked up from the Rams. He did not see the field tonight. Still working him into the system. He's just a couple days in. I mean, that move was made on Tuesday. It's Thursday. Pretty rough ask if they put him out on the field, other than some specialty situation like a Hail Mary or something. To fit
especially against like Jamar Chase.
Yeah, that's a very large ask. Yeah. I mean, the T. Higgins was not playing tonight. you could you definitely move your corners around and have him on the off guy, but like they didn't do that tonight. So we'll see what their defense looks like with their big move. You know, I obviously we knew coming into this week that the Chiefs had made fantastic moves. They went and got a pass rusher. They went and got their receiver. But I think those three teams are the three teams that won the trade deadline. I know that. Oh, and we're forgetting one obvious one. I want to forget Detroit going after Zarius Smith from the Browns and picking that up. Like, that was a great move for them. He's clear. I mean, that's a crap team. And him leaving there makes a lot of sense for both him and the Lions, who lost Hutch for the year. Thought that was really smart too. They get a solid B+ for that pickup. Smith is definitely not at peak performance level right now. We'll see if things change with the different scheme in Detroit, and we see those numbers bump up for him in terms of pressures and sacks. But still a solid move for them. But I just thought, dude, Chiefs get an A, Ravens get an A, and for the all-in attitude and picking up biggest need, I really like what the Redskins did. I always do what Commanders did. I do it all the time.
Wow, I haven't heard that one in a while. Throwback.
2 weeks, a week.
I don't think
I do it every episode,
bro. Well, we haven't really talked about them a whole lot, but I don't think really you haven't done that as much as you think you have.
Really? No. Well, I definitely say it in my head every time. Yeah. I have to think about it, but no, Commanders get an A as well. Those three teams in particular, I give the B+, the Lions. I also don't mind when teams stand pat who are doing well. You didn't see a lot from the Bills. Other than the one going and getting Amari, that was the one thing they needed to do. I was a little surprised that the Texans didn't try and make more of a splash with Diggs going down, Collins being hurt.
With a team too that's struggling to do stuff like they're struggling to move the ball down the field. Granted, a lot of that is injury, but you would think that they would try to get something. And again, a team that we all think could be in a Super Bowl, like that was like none of us would have been surprised, and so you're bummed to not see that happen, or at least in an AFC Championship. We're bummed that they didn't make a move there. At least I am.
Steelers get Mike Williams, right? So, that's nice.
Yep.
Then for them,
and I feel like that feel like a bit of a concession though. Like they couldn't get the receiver they wanted.
Yeah. I mean, but still, they upgrade. They upgrade. They're a better wide receiver room today than they were before they made that trade.
Yeah, that's a depth piece, though. I mean, that's a number 3 receiver trying to be a 2.
Sure,
that's what he proved in Los Angeles with the Chargers. Is he's a 3 trying to be a 2. He doesn't have the hands to be a 2. Like he just doesn't.
He's got the big play.
No, he's just not that receiver. He's going to come down with the occasional big move. Obviously, he stretches the field, and his height is a problem when you're going up to get the ball. But, like, bro just can't stay on the field either. So, and we've had that conversation before.
But Russ's Moonball is back. So,
I mean, hey.
Like that? I like that.
We're gonna get to where the Steelers are at later on in this episode. And nobody's more surprised in what's going on there than I am. But no, I didn't love that move. I'm just thinking of other teams here at the deadline. Division leaders currently. Cardinals didn't do anything crazy. The Falcons didn't bust out, anything ridiculous. I don't have a problem though, to an extent, with where they're at in terms of standing pat. They're in a pretty decent lead here in the division at 6-3 with the Bucs at 4-5. The Bucs got to go in and play the Niners this week, who are getting CMC back, and the Bucs right now are still playing as if you listen to the show, how pissed off Grant and I were when Godwin got hurt. Mike Evans is still not playing, expected back after the team's Week 11 bye. So I, looking at like what's coming up for them, it looks like another loss. If the Falcons just can consistently move forward, I don't think them not getting a big trade in hurts them a ton as far as the division's concerned. But they do have some stuff that they could have shored up. They still, as much better as they're doing getting after the quarterback, could use some help there. And I just think some defensive pieces would have made sense. Or, I know this isn't the time of year to do it, but an offensive line upgrade for them would also have made a decent amount of sense. Just because you got Kirk Cousins, man, and that dude doesn't run. So keep him upright,
Yep.
But all that said, it was a decent trade deadline. The number of trades was pretty solid, and I like seeing the movement. It makes for a fun week.
I think what's kind of, I mean, I feel like overall it was lackluster because we've talked about this a couple times. Trades started happening way earlier this year than in years past.
Yeah.
Where like they spread it out, whereas opposed to like 2 or 3 days of like crazy big trades, all the big names got moved weeks ago. That they get, are the ones that were going to get traded. Those guys got moved already, and so I think that we saw some trades happen, obviously in the deadline, but like this trade deadline started honestly much sooner than we've seen it in years past. What, by week 3 or 4 we were having like some bigger names go? Like, have we ever seen that? Like, probably not.
Yeah, I mean, I think some teams knew what they were out of the gate, and that was pretty obvious. The Titans were on a full fire sale.
Yep.
They've had several players change hands. Seahawks picked up a linebacker from them. Obviously the Hopkins going to the Chiefs.
Devontae Adams.
Yep. Like all these other ones that already happened, like that was stuff. I would just say though that Lattimore is still a big name to go on the trade day.
Yeah. No, that's probably the biggest outside of Devontae.
I was surprised that his buddy on the defensive line did not go.
Jordan. I thought he was going to go.
I thought Jordan was going to go. That makes sense for a lot of teams. I know that's a big cash contract this year, next year, but that's it. Mike also made a really strong case with me and text messages for Crosby. He has a $10 million out on his contract after this next year, and he's only owed, I think, 24 on the cap hit for 25.
Yeah.
So that one would have been interesting, but as I told Mike, like, I just think the compensation for Crosby is way too high to do that.
Yeah, he's still kind of youngish. He's on first contract or whatever. So
yeah, I mean, you'd be dumping like legit 2 1s.
Yeah,
I mean 2 1s
possibly,
plus some change. 2 1s and a player, I think, would be the asking price there. And honestly, with Mark Davis, it might even be higher. I think he would hold him for a king's ransom because he wants that guy forever. That's their guy.
He's got Raiders written all over him the way he plays, so I understand that.
Yeah. Let's go to a team, though, that did a piss-poor job at the trade deadline. I think made one of the most half-hearted efforts I've ever seen to improve a squad that clearly sucks. And it gives me so much pleasure to talk about it because I hate them with all of my hate. The Cowboys get an F minus for the Jonathan Mingo trade.
A 4th.
What?
For a dude who has 10 career receiving yards or 15 this year.
He's so bad.
That means I could go for a 5th.
Hey, bro.
At 0
Grant,
this year.
With the knowledge that you possess of this game, Grant, which is clearly more than Mingo puts in his back pocket when he walks in to his job every day.
Or Jerry Jones, clearly.
Yeah. Dude, it is a wonder what is going on there.
And if you're watching this, you could go for a 5th or a 6th in the NFL to the Dallas Cowboys.
I mean, I feel like don't get me wrong. I couldn't play football anymore. I would die. Like in a moment, I'd be dead.
One hit.
I would just be
blood. Oh hit.
Yeah, bloody stain.
Broken ribs,
broken everything.
Yeah,
it's gone. My spine would be gone. I have a bad neck as it is. I sleep funny, and I'm out for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So
built
legit,
different.
Like I die, but as a GM, I feel very confident. Okay, I feel very confident when it comes to player evaluation. I would do a much better job than that guy. I mean, this is the dude that wanted to draft Johnny Manziel, and there was a conspiracy to keep him from doing it that happened. This is a guy who does not understand what a wide receiver is supposed to do. He does not understand that wide receivers have to block in a run game, for instance. Like that's a thing.
It's crazy.
No offense to CeeDee Lamb. But who's a fantastic receiver. But like he does not get team guys. He gives away contracts to people that he likes. He hands over millions of dollars all the time to worthless players named Dak Prescott. And, you can throw a host of other names in there because Dak is he's mid. That's all he is all day.
Well,
and he's not a $35 million quarterback.
Yeah, and his solution for the running game was bringing an old Zeke back. Like, what is going on?
We said it from the beginning of the year. They don't have a run game. And the dude that he passed up on in Derrick Henry is lighting up the league. And the dude that he gave up, Tony Pollard, is second in the AFC in rushing right now.
Yeah.
So what are you doing? Like, you have no idea what good is. And it's so clear. And to go get Mingo and give up, what as Grant said, a fourth for a dude that can't play.
Fourth, like those, insane. There's value in fourth rounders.
Yeah.
This isn't like
absolutely.
Like, yeah, you do it for a sixth or a seventh, yeah, fine. But a fourth is insane, and it's an insane overpay.
That is a starting position or a starting quality player at certain positions. So offensive line, especially on the interior, you can find the occasional tackle for sure there. But a starting offensive lineman, a starting center, your number 2 or 3 center could get drafted in the 4th round. Which, by the way, how's that going, Grant? You guys might want to spend a 4th round pick there. Just throwing that out.
Soon.
Is it?
No.
Genuinely, like, you can go get a corner here. You can get a solid interior defensive lineman, linebackers all day long in the 4th round.
Yes.
Such a bad trade.
And by the way, they need all those things.
Oh yeah, there's that too.
The team that is bereft of talent, like
it's so
like
bad.
Especially when you're an owner who hands out money like candy, too, and then you're giving away draft picks for dudes who have 15 total yards this season. Like, what are you doing, man? Like, you need those draft picks to try and fix the holes on your team because you're paying a guy $12 billion a year. Who
he should take some of that money and invest it into some people who could tell him what good players look like, so they could go on his team.
Like tell him no. Also he needs people to freaking tell him no. Limitations are good. Oh my Lord.
Here it is in a nutshell, right? So you have Jonathan Mingo, who was drafted last year. He played all last year. He's played all this year. He averages, since he entered the NFL, Jonathan Mingo has averaged 4.9 yards per target. That is tied for the lowest mark by any wide receiver with at least 50 targets in that time.
And he gave up a 4th rounder for that guy.
And he gave up a 4th rounder for him.
Fantastic.
We love you, Jerry.
Jones.
Keep it up. Keep it up, buddy.
They them boys.
Okay. Carolina gets a little better next year. That's cool. Whatever.
Sure. They could use all the help they can get.
I think they're like, you want a 4th? Yes. Let us sign the paperwork right now. Right now.
There's a term in fantasy football that we say all the time. Smash accept.
Yes.
Smash it.
Like,
okay. Not even a conversation.
I just wonder, was Jerry Jones like, is he the one that dropped that number? It's like, hey, I'll give you a 4th this guy. Like, it had to have been, right? They're like, yes.
Yep.
Like, clearly he has no idea what he's doing.
Absolutely. There was another team or two that I would have loved to see make a move. Just to upgrade in a few key areas. I was interested in why the Packers and the Vikings basically stood pat, like didn't really do anything. Packers traded away a starting defensive lineman.
Yep,
thought that was interesting that they chose to do that with the Steelers. But would have loved to see them make a move, especially after the Lions go get a pass rusher they're hoping is going to be a real big difference maker. And the fact that they're just brutalizing everybody that they play right now. That would have made a lot more sense. Not that I want them to do it, but it would have made a lot of sense that the Cardinals, who are 5-4, would have gone and
the division lead
really
right now.
Shored up some stuff. They're in the division lead as of today.
Yeah.
They haven't been on their bye week, as also the Seahawks haven't yet. But the Rams and the Niners both sitting there with 4 losses as well. But they played one less game. So I just thought that would have made sense the Cardinals have not been in a division lead for a fat minute.
No,
Would have been smart of them, I feel like, to just go get it done.
a lot of those,
Um,
a lot of the fringe teams, like those are you're the hovering around the 8, 9, 10 win mark, probably fighting for a wild
mhm.
card spot. Like those are you got to make those trades because like they can get that sack, get that catch, get that pick,
Yeah.
whatever it is to maybe win a game. In a league where sometimes it's just a game that keeps you out, you got to make sure that you're making the right moves for your team. So definitely bummed for like the Packers not getting some or Vikings not getting anything done where they clearly we think they're good, but they're not on that level of the Lions, some of these other teams in this division or even in this conference.
Yeah, also didn't understand the Bears not making a move. They're
Yep.
at 4-4, and if they want to stay relevant in that division, they got to get better now.
Yes.
And they're not dealing with major amounts of injuries and all that crud. So that didn't make any sense to me either.
Yeah.
Those other three teams in that division could have done something. The Bengals didn't seem to really be all in. They're a team that needs to, flip that fortune. Almost did that tonight on their own. By losing just by a point to the Ravens there. Also would have liked to see the Chargers make a move. Broncos make a move. They're 5-3 and 5-4 respectively. I understand they're not going to catch the Chiefs in the division, but I mean, with all the teams hovering around that 4-5 win marker across the AFC right now, Colts included, again, Bengals included, like that would make sense to just go and separate yourself. And there's a lot of bad teams in the NFL right now. There's 11 teams, you guys, that have 3 or less wins.
Yep.
11. That's insane. Going into week 10, like that's awful. But that there's a dichotomy of high low. Obviously Chiefs are only 8-0, but you got multiple teams at 7-2 and 6-3, or 6-2 that are just bulldozing people and taking division leads and separating themselves from the pack already. So if you're in that mid, you got to get it done. And a little disappointed to see some of them, but wasn't disappointed what happened with the Cowboys. What I thought was amazing to see this week, holy crap, Saquon Barkley. What
a play.
Dude, nobody ever thunked it until the bro did it. That was amazing.
A backwards hurdle. That doesn't even compute. Like I'm
off the spin though too. Like it's off this like a perfect spin.
Broken tackle, spin, then the hurdle, right?
Yeah, like it was a beautiful sequence.
Does the look over his shoulder? You can see his eye just going hard that side. Sees the dude coming and does it. And I don't know if you guys saw it, but I know I mentioned it to at least a few people this week. The sideline view from the Eagles.
You told me that. I haven't seen that yet. Point,
it's insane.
I'm sure they go like, what?
Their reaction.
Grabbing their teammates. Like, yeah.
Oh, it is crazy. Their minds are blown. And take into account, this is a dude they watch every day. Like, they see him do crazy crud all the time. But the fact that he was even willing to try it in a game, that's crazier than doing a flip over somebody. For sure. That's crazier than a straightforward hurdle. We name plenty of guys that have done that. Nobody has ever done this that we're aware of. No. There's definitely a few football games we don't have tape on from, NFL and especially in that pre-1950s era. I don't think somebody, didn't have the athletic ability that this dude with a 42-inch vert does. Was trying that one.
No, dude, guys in the 50s were ripping cigs right before kickoff and drinking beer the night before like crazy.
Oh, John Riggins getting toasted before the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Then
yeah,
also
going
out and be the MVP.
Still, not happening. That's not happening 70 years ago.
Dude, okay, but what would you call what he did? Because I sat there and I thought about this week. Okay, like, Mike, I don't understand. It's an athletic move, okay? But I sat there and I thought, is this like one of the greatest individual efforts I've ever seen? And then I went through a whole list of plays where I was like, well, is this better than what Marshawn did? Like, that run in the playoffs is incredible. Is this better than Odell's catch?
Yeah. Kittle's run against the Saints when his head's being pulled off. Like,
yep.
What kind of effort was that? Where he carried those 3 guys down the field with him for 10
like
more
that
yards?
third and 10, right? Something like that.
No, it's a 4th and 2.
Oh, fourth. Oh, okay.
4th and 2.
Yeah, 4th and 2. I mean, or you could think of a bunch of them. Earl Campbell, like just to go back in the day, if there's the famous one of his jersey just getting ripped off him, and he says, "I don't care,"
and just keeps going. Yeah.
I mean, there's so many good ones.
Okay, so Matt, you and I talked a little bit about this, but I'll say it here. I think it was a good play. I kind of think that this is some like reactionary, like in the moment kind of craziness with this conversation. Because yes, it's cool, but like the Odell catch, right? Like that's for a freaking touchdown. The Marshawn run, like there's context to it, right? Like the Seahawks are 7-10 in the playoffs and beat the Saints, who won the Super Bowl last year. Like I think it's cool, but like it's a 12-yard run, like total 12 yards, 11, 13, whatever. Like
right,
he was able to fall forward. Yeah,
4. I think it's 4 extra yards after it.
Yeah. So like it's a cool play, but I think that like it was against the Jaguars. Were they playing? Is that who they were playing?
Yes.
Yeah, it was like a nothing game.
It was a nothing game. It's middle of the week. I think it was cool. I think it was impressive, but I do think there's some like people coming here saying it's the greatest play of all time, and I'm like, you clearly started watching football this season to like say that.
Yeah. Like, I would say it's not. Yeah, I would say it's not like greatest of all time, right? It's not even up there necessarily because context does matter. But I could see this totally being on the front cover of Madden.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah, him or Derrick Henry's going to be on it next year.
Well, no, I could just see that as the picture right on the cover of Madden. Like it's iconic. It'll iconic what he did.
It'll be used in trailers promoting the next season that's coming up. You know, the 2025 season
for 50 years, man.
Like they'll use it for all that kind of stuff. Like when they're doing montages, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Because
Eagles history,
because of the way it looks.
Yeah,
because of the way it looks.
It's awesome.
It looks so phenomenal. But the outcome was all like, he gained 4 more yards. That's cool.
If he got a touchdown out of it somehow, if that hurdle was if that hurdle was to get past the last defender,
that would be sick.
And then took it 50 yards down the field. Like
imagine that sideline camera.
Bro, then I might have been like greatest play I've ever seen. Like
you know, again, the context matters, right? It kind of raises or lowers the bar there.
Like, and I even think that like even stuff like I think it's an impressive physical feat, like maybe one of the most athletic plays I've ever seen. But even that, I'm like, man, but Julian Edelman's catch in the Super Bowl, concentration,
David
Tyree, like to be
the Tyree catch,
like I'm like, dude, I mean, it's a different kind of physical prowess. It's different, right? But I'm like, man, if you watch that Edelman catch, like it's like a a centimeter off the ground. When he has to recatch that thing, like that's a physical feat,
and you can actually see his concentration on his face too, right?
Dude,
like you get almost to see into his soul as he's concentrating on that ball.
I
think it's so much, so it's good.
I think of like Randy Moss over 2 Bills defenders, grabbing the ball from over the top, or Calvin
just
Johnson
a couple
doing
years
a high
ago.
point. D Hop with the
over like 3 of them.
Yeah, the Hail Murray.
Like 3, yeah.
Like that was all nuts. Here's what I kind of came up with. This is the greatest, or one of, if not the greatest, flash move of all time.
Okay.
So you would talk about quick movement in the game. They call them flash moves. This is Barry Sanders breaking an ankle, getting mossed. It was a flash move. Anything that throws a defender
Saquon
off.
Call getting Saquon.
Yeah, like. Sure. I mean,
I don't know.
Getting barked. But yeah, to me, it's definitely in that realm of greatest flash move of all time. Because even athletic play, I mean, what is that? Like, think about the amount of linebackers that we could say that's one of the most athletic things we've ever seen.
Paul Malu.
DK on the chase down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like last year. That's one of the most athletic things I've ever seen in my life.
That was insane.
For sure, running down Buda Baker and Buda looking over his shoulder, going, "Oh no!" Like
I can't beat him.
Yeah.
So there's just a lot of things we could call athletic. So I think you got to take it out of there. It's just a style type play, and so I think the flash move for me, that language works real well.
I would even say maybe the greatest juke of all time. I could argue that.
Barry Sanders got something to say.
I know he does, but he doesn't He didn't do like a backwards hurdle on anybody.
I can't argue with that.
He never had to. He just juked everybody out of his shorts.
Yeah, he just looked you in the eyes when he stole your soul.
And your shoes also, because you came out of your shoes.
And your ACL.
Yeah.
I think the last thing I have to say about it though is I don't put it up there on some of the level because I remember during the Odell Beckham catch, right? I went back and I like slow motioned that thing like 15 times in a row. Like back and forth. I was like, that guy's literally bending over backwards. I don't know how he did. This one I watched like 4 times. Yeah, like 3 fingers bent over backwards. Like most of his body's out of bounds.
PI.
Brings it back. Like
he's
in the middle of PI. Like it was phenomenal. This one I watched like 5 times. I was like, that Saquon Barkley guy, he's so good. And then I was done with it, right?
Yeah.
And that's the difference. Like so,
I probably saw it 15 or 20 times this week, but it was over a few different sittings, so that's kind of fair. I would say though, Mike, if you go over to the Odell thing, I don't even know that I would call that the greatest catch of all time because you and I, from our era growing up with football, there's a guy who is not popular in the NFL who was very popular for doing one specific thing, and that was making insane catches. Had the best body control. I mean, it's elite of all time. I don't understand why his career wasn't more than it was, but like Brandon Lloyd, the toe grab falling out of bounds when he was with Denver is still to me, it's got to be the hardest catch to make I've ever seen. Bro caught the ball inches off the ground, literally just falling over. Out of bounds, completely extended out of bounds. Like the sideline moved out of the way so that he could make an attempt on the ball. It's got to be the toughest technical catch I've ever seen. And that's not to take anything away from Odell's extraordinary effort. But like, yeah, I would definitely love to do a ranking someday where I thought that through and like in my head called it
best plays, like best plays or best catches.
Best catches. I'd love to do best runs, best catches. Like I think sometime that'd be a fun episode if we were just concentrated to that for a time. But yeah, we could hit that sometime. But I genuinely loved watching that play. It made my week as a football fan. My team was on bye, and that was the coolest thing that happened on Sunday to me for sure. I want to skip down our line a little bit because we got an interest of time. We're gonna do a midseason check-in today. I'm just gonna briefly touch on the Saints finally did, and I'm so sad that Jameson's not here to celebrate with us. Finally did what we have requested many times.
Our local Saints haters
fired Dennis Allen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they fired him. Good.
Dude, what a
riddance. 7
losses. Can
you
believe that people were trying to gas them up as a playoff team after week 1?
Well, week 2, like 2 weeks in a row, they scored like 40 points and like held the opponents to like.
Remember who they beat, guys?
So good.
And they're now
exactly
2-7. Those are their first 2.
Yeah, they suck.
Yes,
they suck a lot. That defense not good anymore.
And that was the one thing, and especially when that's what Dennis Allen's specialty was defense. And that sucks. You go bye unless you're Robert Saleh and you have a terrible owner. That's different. But
also getting fired this week was the people that Antonio Pierce wants to blame for him not being great at his job, Raiders offensive coaching staff. Interesting to me that they scored, 24 points this last week. Defense gave up like 40, and he fired the offensive coaching staff. Thought that was hilarious.
It wasn't even just like the offensive coordinator. It's like all of the offensive coaching staff. He's like, yeah, all of you are gone.
Yeah, and not to get deep in the woods, but this is what bad owners do. They pick the guy they like on staff or whatever, or they pick the part of their situation that they enjoy, and they seem to just play favorites. Antonio Pierce is getting done. Like, he's done after the season. Like,
yeah,
interim coaches that become head coaches don't ever make it to the 3rd year. That's literally the rule.
Yeah, especially because it's not like this is his first time. They saw 7 or 8 games of it last year.
Yeah, and he was mediocre. Like, he was fine.
Everyone loved him in the locker room, and like the team rallied around him as like the guy for that last half of the season.
Cool. Mike Singletary used to be a head coach in the NFL. Cool.
Yeah.
Who?
It happens.
Yeah.
Gerard Mayo looking like he's about to be that guy up in New England because he can't keep his dang mouth shut and his team sucks. Same
he's
thing.
staying. I mean, dude, he's staying. Robert Kraft's a loyal guy. Like, he's gonna stay at least another year.
For what?
Because,
bro,
dude, he wanted Brady to stay. He wanted he's a loyal guy, and this was the guy they wanted.
Brady's a Hall of Famer. He won a Super Bowl after he left. I'd want him to stay too. Belichick's one of the greatest coaches of all time. I'd want him to stay too. But this guy is the dumpster fire of a head coach. Bye. I think he's gone. You're going to tell me that he's going to be loyal when Mike Vrabel is available?
Well.
And wants to go there?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I'm not saying Vrabel wasn't available this last year. I'm saying I don't think he liked the situation where it was at the time. I think that Vrabel gets to pick his spot, and he'll be in front of the line in front of Belichick this offseason. I absolutely believe that. 100%. You want Vrabel before you want Belichick right now.
Why is that?
I don't disagree with you.
Because 100%, Belichick is not a GM anymore, and he's going to demand control. Vrabel understands he's not a GM. He's not asking for that role. He wants a good partnership, but he's not asking to be the GM of a team. He wants to be a head of football coach and go do his job. Belichick wants organizational control, top down. You do it my way, or we don't do this. And he's made that very clear. That's why he's not in Atlanta right now. Otherwise, he'd be coaching Kirk Cousins. They probably wouldn't have Penix on that team, but he'd be coaching Kirk Cousins. So. They probably have some offensive guard that we haven't heard from, down at Jacksonville State who played 3 snaps and took him with 7th pick overall. I mean, he's done it once. Probably do it again.
Yeah.
But no, I think he's gone. The Raiders firing offensive coaching staff, though, was literally the definition of the Raiders. We'll say the Shadur Sanders thing getting real interesting. If you're watching that heat up on Twitter, he is real excited every time the Raiders lose. Gets real excited. And there have been some comments being made by his dad and the rest of his family about preferred destinations. Also, this last week, Sanders, when he's questioned by one of the local beat reporters about the classes they were going to take in the next term, he was like, I ain't going to be here, man. I'm going to be in the league.
Yeah.
I'm not. They're like, you're not enrolling in classes? I'm going to be in the league. Was literally the line. He knows where he's going. That's a top 5 pick for sure.
I mean,
Raiders right now.
He's going to be the number 1 just because of the position.
I don't think. No, I mean, right now, a lot of people have Ward going as the number 1 pick. And just from the intangibles and the look, traditional Ward does make a lot of sense as the number 1 pick. I think Hunter should go in front of him, though. I mean. Travis Hunter looks like a generational player, and it doesn't even matter what side of the ball you want him on.
What?
No, yeah, I don't. No.
I wonder. It's gonna be fascinating what team, when he becomes available, whenever team's picking, it's like, man, is it they gonna go for the wide receiver or are they gonna go for the corner?
Yes. Yep.
Because there's no way he's doing both.
I do want to say this real quick though.
Dude, do you know
Hunter?
In the league.
Well, in the league, yeah. There's no way somebody lets him play both.
I think no. Hold on.
He's up there
he's gonna play corner. That's what he's gonna play.
You think so?
He's gonna play corner in the league. He's gonna play wide receiver in situations.
For little specialty plays.
They're gonna have packages drawn up for him. He's gonna play both sides, but he's gonna play corner.
That's what he's more naturally. He looks.
Yeah, I mean, he has the hands. He has the hands to play on both sides, but he's more valuable in the league as a corner. I think he actually should probably go in the 5 to 7 range based on value of the cornerback position. But if you truly do value him as a wide receiver, I don't think his body is big enough to sustain the NFL. That's just a belief that I have. He's an outside receiver that's not big enough to play on the outside.
Yeah.
There's a few exceptions to that rule. There's definitely smaller guys that play on the outside in league. That's a thing. Okay. But Hunter has put so many more football plays in than anybody else has ever.
Yeah.
So, in the seasons that he's played in college football and will play throughout this year, barring the fact, that he doesn't get injured, but he's built more like a corner. That's pretty obvious. He's situational as a wide receiver, not because he doesn't have the hands or the route running or whatever. Dude's a baller, but just because they're going to save him for the defensive side of the ball to have that elite corner. You want it. So it would be interesting. I think some teams will value him elsewhere, but he's just going to be a baller anyway. We didn't mean to get all the way into those weeds, though. I
do want to say something real fast.
Yeah, or if you're good.
That Hunter is the definition. This is for anybody that watches college football ever. He's the definition of what the Heisman is supposed to be for. He is like the Iron Man, both sides, contributes everywhere.
He better win it.
If he continues doing what he's done this year, throughout the whole year, it should be him. Like that is 100%. Literally what the Heisman is for. It probably won't be. It's going to be the guy from Boise State, Janty or whatever. But if he gets 2,000 yards rushing, like he's going to get it. But for me, it's Hunter, right? I look at Hunter, I was like, playing both sides of the ball. He's getting interceptions. He's getting touchdowns. Like, what else do you want him to do?
Showing up in big moments, stripping the ball, dude.
Yeah,
like
exactly. Oh yeah.
Yep.
It's
this stuff at the line. I mean, like stopping that play. I remember texting you guys. I'm like, Travis Hunter is one of the most incredible football players I've ever seen in my life.
Ever seen? Like, he's everywhere.
He's amazing. I totally
that was my
agree,
soapbox.
Like
that was my soapbox.
Be on it, because you're right. And it's sad because really it feels like the two players you just mentioned, as well as there's this guy in Oregon playing some pretty good quarterback. There's a guy down in Miami playing really good quarterback. Both, all four of them could easily win it this year. I mean, especially depending on what their teams end up doing. But if you're just equating a dude, like I agree, Travis Hunter is something we will not see for a very long time, and it's literally what the Heisman's for. Yep,
we've never seen it. First off, not on this level.
No, not to the level he's playing in college. I mean, Dion. There's a reason that he plays for that guy, but not to this level. No.
Yeah.
Dion did it as a kick returner. Like that was where he was truly, truly electric.
Yeah.
On the with the ball in his hands. He was not the hands receiver that Hunter is. Hunter's unbelievable. That dude catches targets 4 days. Just really quickly, other games that happened this week. The Toilet Bowl happened. Titans beat the Patriots even after the fire sale. Hey, we'll get to it because you didn't have as good a week as you think, buddy. The Cowboys, of course, lost to the Falcons. Love that. The Panthers got a win over the Saints, which is what got Dennis Allen fired. The Lions beat the Packers. We're running away with that one real quick and end up holding off the Packers. Rams beat the Seahawks in a close game, 26-20. Seahawks playing without DK. We knew that was going to be a tough task without him on the field. I definitely would have made a huge difference in that game. I watched a good chunk of that one myself.
JSN breakout game, though. That was dope to see.
JSN did play great.
And bro would have had like 800 yards if our offensive line didn't hold like every single massive catch he had.
And your center understood where the quarterback was when he hiked the ball and the cadence.
That's the third play in the last 2 weeks that our center has either stepped on Geno's foot or hiked the ball over Geno's head.
Still funny to watch.
Anyway.
No, those were the week that was there. Plenty to get to this coming week, and I know we got to do a quick update. Mike, run us through where we're at on our preseason predictions. I feel like there's some good and some bad here on our part, but I also feel like our bad is pretty related to injuries. But why don't you hit us with it, man? Go for it.
I'm feeling pretty good about our preseason predictions, but we'll just start in the AFC West. We all just picked the Chiefs to win, and we didn't pick any other teams to come out of there for the playoffs. And looking at the rankings here, you still got the Chiefs that are 8-0 because nobody can seem to finish those guys off. Nope. Nobody, for whatever reason. Can't go for 2 points, of course, or anything like that.
No.
But the Chargers have looked pretty dang decent, right? And the Broncos have been surprising. That defense has been a top defense for most of this year.
The front seven's legit, and then they got Surtain in the back.
Their front seven is so good. Yeah, those are our surprises that we didn't mention at all was there. But yeah, I mean, we were all on the Chiefs. We were all right there.
Yep.
The no other playoff teams from this one. I mean, right now, if you just playoff started right now, it's Chiefs, Chargers, and Broncos are all in. So there's a possibility that the AFC West surprises the crud out of us. So,
yeah. No, I was gonna say looks like we're gonna get 2 teams out of the AFC North at least right now. And who knows, the Bengals or the Colts still in it could definitely surprise us down the road. Don't like what's going on with the Colts with the flip-flop of the quarterback situation and the horrible lack of pass protection that
Joe
they
Flacco
seem to be
went
given right
to
now.
bed this week.
Yeah, I watched that at the end. Joe did not make good decisions at the end of that game. He looked like he was just running for his life, and Joe can't run. So, no, he died on the field games. 4 out of those. Yeah, but he got sacked.
He always has
sacked 3 times in a row and got hit 5 times in a row.
Yeah,
that was pretty bad. So, yeah, but I would just say throw those in there. It could get there. What was our next division?
Well, I was going to say my prediction here is that the Chiefs and Chargers make it. I don't think the Broncos are going to make it. Agreed. I think that offense is going to stumble just a little bit down the line. I think the Bengals will come out on top in that between those two. That's my prediction.
Do you agree with me, though, in Week 18, Broncos are trying to play for a playoff spot? Do you think they'll last that long?
Absolutely. I think they will.
I agree with that. Yep. There you go. That's where I'm at.
So, AFC East, we kind of dropped an egg here on this one a little bit. So we all had the Dolphins and the Jets in the playoffs in that order. And that has not turned out that way this year at all.
So two things.
We've got go ahead.
Tua's dumb and Aaron Rodgers is terrible. That's why.
Yeah.
We did not know that either of those things were necessarily true.
Yeah.
Okay, we kind of knew that Tua wasn't, the brightest bulb. But we did not know what Aaron Rodgers
that bulb
was
has been dimmed a few times. Let's say that.
It's very kind of you to say it that way.
Yes, it is very kind.
Yeah.
I think again that I was going to say there's a few divisions where it's clearly injury related. This is one of them.
But dude, honestly, I did not look at how bad the rest of the AFC East is. Like looking at all of them in their records.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Bills have the easiest path, dude.
I mean, bro, win three more games during the playoffs. Yeah, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
they just have to win 3 out of 8, and they're in.
Yeah,
pretty doable when you got to play the Jets, Dolphins, and Patriots again. So,
they're loving it. Bills fans are loving it.
Right, man. I think we're all there with it. I think, honestly, what do we think the Bills are here? Let's just do that before we move on. 13 wins. Do we like them at 12? I like them at 12 or 13. I think 12 is the likely, 13's the ceiling.
Yeah, okay. I would agree.
They still have to play the Chiefs, the Rams, the Lions.
Chiefs and Lions are losses.
I think so.
They're as talented as the Rams or a little better.
That's what I'm saying. I think those are very comparable teams, in my opinion. With Puka and Cooper Kupp healthy, I think they're very comparable teams.
Yeah,
fair. So that's very fair.
Yeah, right. But otherwise, I mean, I think they beat the Colts this week. I think they're taking out the Patriots twice. I think they're beating the Jets.
Probably.
That's 4 more wins. That's 11 wins.
Bro, to be at 7-2, haven't played the Patriots once yet. What a gift.
Yeah,
bingo.
What a gift.
They have at least 11 wins in them. So they're winning this division. They're walking away with this division.
Yep.
I don't even think it's close at this point. And I think maybe the Jets are lucky to get into the playoffs. Maybe if what we saw last week actually comes to fruition. I think they're
cooked.
Done too, but
done.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
So we were a little wrong on these guys. So neither of our playoff predictions is going to make the playoffs for the AFC East. AFC South. We had the Texans win and maybe the Colts making the playoffs. That's
Feeling
pretty
good
solid so far. Feeling good about it.
That's exactly where it's at. I mean, I still think the Jaguars will clown town somebody else. The Titans played their best football this last week and barely beat a horrible team. So, yeah, that is what it is. But I will waste a lot of breath on that division.
Yeah.
I will say we were very high on the Texans, and I haven't with injuries and the way they've actually played. Their defense has not lived up to the what they should.
Yeah,
true.
I think they're missing the mark quite a bit. CJ Stroud's kind of hit his sophomore slump. And we can see that. So, and they've, Mixon was hurt for part of the year and they've lost their top two receivers. Like, there's reasons for it, but they're still going to walk away with this division, I think. But I don't think it's going to be in the way that we had predicted it to be.
Sure.
So AFC North is all of us said the Ravens were going to win and that the Bengals were going to be in the playoffs. I said the Steelers might be in the playoffs. Matt, you kind of really told me that they were a dumpster fire. I'm just saying that out loud.
I was also. I will go down with Matt. I said that too. I was not.
You also said it. Neither of you were like the Steelers. There's no way. And I was like, their coach is too good. This team's defense is too good. I think they're going to be. They could make the playoffs.
And their offense can move down the field now.
But their offense can. But we didn't see that coming.
But know this: I genuinely feel that the Steelers dumpster fire scenario is 8-9. Like that's a Steelers dumpster fire. Because that would be a non-500 squad. So, like,
for the first time ever, Mike Tomlin.
That is what right. And look, they definitely have surprised, and the reason they have surprised us has been we did not have any faith in that quarterback situation. None. Justin Fields shocked us by going 4-2. Then Tomlin comes out and says, "Thanks. Here's the bench." And brings out Russ, who is managing the crap out of games. Not looking like Russ of old, though he is, as somebody already declared today, throwing a heck of a moon ball. And, they're just staying healthy. That's the big part.
Unlimited. Mr. Unlimited. He's eating that danger witch, bro. Russ is back, baby. He's back. So I love him now.
Of course you do. Of course you love him now.
Our relationship is back on.
So looking at how they've done and knowing that the Thursday night game we've seen, right? So we know the Ravens won tonight, the Bengals lost. So so the Ravens are actually 7-3 and the Bengals are 4-6. With the Steelers being 6-2.
Oh, yep.
So with knowing that, how do you think the Steelers are going to finish? That's my question for this one now. How do you think this is going to end up?
In second place.
You think
The Ravens right now are third best team in the NFL.
I don't disagree.
I have no problem saying that out loud. If you were putting them head to head with the Commanders tomorrow, which that would be awesome to watch. Dude, schedule for Christmas. I will not open presents if you put that game on at 8:00 in the morning. Like, I don't care. Or we got to get it all done before 8:00 in the morning. I would love to watch that football. But, no, I think the Ravens are the third best team in the league after the Lions and the obviously undefeated Chiefs. But I will take the Ravens all day, that top to bottom. That roster is awesome. The only issue I got is hopefully White is their savior in that secondary. Outside of that, they're terrifying. And they have a solidified position of the most importance in Lamar Jackson that the Steelers do not have. I mean, we've been shocked about the level of quarterback play they've gotten out of these two guys that nobody else wanted. That's awesome. Good for them. But, they're not elite. And when it comes down to it, down the stretch,
don't you talk about my boy this way.
Start bumping heads. I'll take the Ravens all day with Lamar and the rest of that roster. Derrick Henry's also an incredible difference maker. So, is what it is. They're both playing good ball right now, but the Steelers are, they're getting by. The Ravens look like they beat the crud out of some people. So,
what quarterback won a Super Bowl? It's not Lamar. You know who's shown up in games? Not Lamar. You know who's
real cute when this shows up?
Russell Wilson, baby.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
go.
With the Legion of freaking boom.
Russ, all day.
Here's the Steelers' schedule. All right, here's the Steelers' schedule. They're playing the Commanders this week. They could lose that game. Then they're playing the Ravens. They could lose that game. Then they're playing the Browns. I'll give them the Browns. Then they're playing the Bengals. They could lose that game. Then they're playing the Browns. They can win that game. Then they have to play the Eagles in December. I think the Eagles are going to be good in December. I think they're getting.
Are they playing in Philly?
In Philly.
Oh, don't like that one.
Yeah. And then you've got the Ravens again. Then you have the Chiefs. Then you end with the Bengals.
Gosh.
This is probably the hard.
So I'm going to look good because what you just said is they're going 2-7 down the stretch, and I'm going to look real good when they go 8-9. Dumpster fire.
In Russ,
I say all of that.
You trust.
I trust
that Russ could go 2-7 for the rest of the season. I do. Man, you're making me feel great. Yeah. You say all that, Mike, and what?
I say all that because the Bengals could be playing the Steelers for a playoff spot in week at the end of the year.
Don't hate that.
Right?
Don't hate that.
Because they play on January 5th. They play the last week of the year before the playoffs start.
They are a TJ Watt injury away from that happening.
Well, even if TJ Watt's healthy, that is I don't know how the Steelers last.
That's a gauntlet
against that gauntlet. And
that's pretty brutal, bro.
Especially if the Bengals can get the first one out of them, that puts them. Oh man,
that's a nasty December, dude. They could back in.
Yeah.
I mean, but we've seen the Steelers do that, right? Where
they back into the playoffs.
They back into the playoffs, lose all these games they should be winning or at least being competitive in, and just can't get it done. We've seen that happen multiple times with this. So, I know we got other divisions to get to, but Ravens for sure, Steelers and the Bengals still duking it out. That's my call. We'll see.
All right. So let's move on to the NFC. In the NFC, myself and Jameson, we took the Falcons to take this division.
South?
And the NFC South. And then Grant and Matt, you guys took the Bucks, and we all said only one team was coming out of here.
Grant, explain to him why the Buccaneers should be in first place.
Todd Bowles is an idiot.
Yeah.
That's why.
Because who's not on the field right now?
Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
That's right. And it's mostly his fault that Chris Godwin is not going to be on the football field until next year. Just throwing that out there.
And probably maybe the last time in a Bucs jersey.
Because you need to learn to take the L.
That's true.
Idiot.
You need to stop.
This is another.
Too much.
And I, all being funny about it, but like legit, those two injuries, massive. And like I said earlier already in the episode, the Bucs not having Mike Evans this week against the 49ers, that's a tough task. To ask Baker to get out there with his 3, 4, 5 receivers and a tight end that
with Walmart
probably wouldn't start
Walmart
for
workers
teams.
With Walmart workers at wide receiver,
open tryouts going on. Their wide receiver room looks like the 49ers mid game a few weeks ago. Legit, like it's bad. So, but also credit to the Falcons right now, like playing consistent ball, doing the thing. Raheem Morris has got a good squad. They have been competitive in games they've not won. This is a good 6-3 team with just a few pieces missing. Again, offensive line concern for me in the long run. Definitely if they're going to be a playoff team, you can get got with that offensive line going in against elite pass rushers. And then they've also shown that they're capable of giving up some sustained drives, just not getting themselves off the field with the defense. They're playing a little bit mid right now, and you want to just kind of see the yards per game come down with the Falcons for sure. But not completely shocked here that we're in the situation that we're in. I didn't hate the Falcons take. I thought it was just a little hopeful. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was going for the squad that's been together. That's what I was doing. Squad that's been together, know each other.
Made the playoffs last year.
Yeah, beat the Eagles in the playoffs last year, right? Was that last year?
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's a bummer, but yeah, I think the Falcons are going to take this thing at this point.
Well, and I said in our preview was that I think the Falcons were going to take this division with the tiebreaker over the Bucs, and they have that. They've beat the Bucs twice, so I think that.
Yep.
I think
that seals it pretty much right there.
I think both teams are going to finish very near each other, and the Bucs could still make the playoffs. If
absolutely.
Why not?
Evans comes back Otten keeps playing the way he has. White keeps playing the way he has. Like this
Bucky
offense is
Irvin
still
playing
good.
well. Duck.
Bucky Irving showing up.
Yeah.
That's a solid rookie running back.
Baker leads the league in touchdown passes.
Goat.
Right? So like you're just like, you know what? That's still a good team.
Baker
So
Mayfield the goat.
I still think the Falcons are going to win this division. I think there's just too many easy teams on their schedule still. And the Bucks are going to be playing for a playoff at the end of the year. And that's just the way I look at it right now. Based on how they played.
Grant with his 2017 hot takes on Russell Wilson and Baker Mayfield.
That's right. Goats.
Just bring it on.
Let's talk about our least favorite division in the NFL. Least favorite
division. Although I'm kind of excited about this division, because of Jaden Daniels. But we're going to talk about the NFC East.
Why is it? Oh, you guys don't like the Eagles that much. I have just no opinion on the Eagles.
Yeah. So Jameson took the Cowboys as the only playoff team from the NFC East. The rest of us took the Eagles to win, with the Cowboys coming in second to go to the playoffs. That's not happening.
No,
that's just not happening.
Let's do a little tap dance on the Cowboys' grave.
Everybody's excited. None of us wanted the Cowboys to go, but we thought they'd
probably would.
We thought they'd be the regular season heroes like they usually are.
12 wins. Yep.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that. Dak Prescott as part of his calf muscle not touching the bone. So
I shouldn't be dancing as you're talking about injuries. Never mind.
CeeDee Lamb might miss a week or two. This team's just broken.
Yeah.
Parsons has been out. The Cowboys were beat up. They didn't do enough in the offseason to do anything. The team got worse.
And Mike, what broke the Cowboys? What broke them? Just say it out loud for me.
Jerry Jones.
That's not what I want you to say. That's not what I want you to say. The 49er beatdown is what broke the Cowboys, all right? That's what I want you to say.
Another 49ers beatdown. Another 49ers beatdown. No, I get that.
The Commanders, though, at 7-2, that is, as we've already said, fun football. Jaden Daniels, the shocker. Looking like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. We understand that eventually the tape catches up to a lot of these guys, and
we saw it with CJ Stroud last year, right?
Yep. Yeah, you get there, but you don't get there. And I think that's clearly where they're headed. Although, we didn't see the Texans go all in and go get an elite defender, to make it happen for them. This is looking awesome. So I think the Eagles are, because they have Town in control of that team. I think the Eagles will be fine, and they're going to get that wild card spot. I mean, they are, but the Commanders look great right now, dude. Who would be surprised if this team honestly ends up at 12 wins? They go 5-3. Nobody's gonna be surprised
right now.
I have it up for you. Yeah,
attaboy.
They play the Eagles this week, right? They play the Eagles this week. Then they play the Cowboys. Win. They play the Titans.
They play the Steelers this week. Then Eagles.
Steelers this week. Sorry, then Eagles. But then they have the Cowboys, Titans, Saints, Eagles again. Then they play the Falcons. That'll be a good game. But then they play the Cowboys at the end of the year. So there's 4, I would say, almost guaranteed wins still on their schedule.
Okay.
It's soft. So they can go 4-4 and still win this division.
And let's say they go 1-1 on the Eagles. That's an easy 5 wins.
Yeah, they split with the Eagles. It's completely possible. I'm saying at minimum, I think they could go 4-4. They could lose to the Steelers this week. I mean, that's possible. And so but man, I
love it.
They're in the playoffs, right? You got to look at this and be like, the Commanders are there.
They only have
the Eagles
to win.
Are probably there too.
They only have to go 3-5 to make the playoffs. 10-7 in the NFC is going to get you in.
Yep.
So
get you in.
It's going to get you that last spot, just because of where I think the rest of these teams are falling as we move through it. The NFC West is the only one that can threaten a 10-7 team right now for a wild card. So, that's legit. We got 2 very competitive division to get to, and I know we're going to run short on time, so I want to just kind of run through it if we can.
Let's do this. So we got the NFC North. Everyone said the Lions were going to win, Packers were going to be in the playoffs, and the Bears were a maybe. I did make a short case for the Vikings, and you did not like that at all. And I'm just saying they did start 6-0.
I love that Mike comes back one episode in like a million.
I told you. Yeah, you just come back just to tell us that I told you so, guys. I told you so. I told you so. Particularly, I told Matt.
Everybody's got to have a "told you so" guy. Every podcast.
I mean, that's my job, you jerk.
No,
I enjoy being correct. I'm just saying. I just enjoy being correct. So we're looking at this. We got the Lions 7-1.
It's fine. I'm gonna beat him in fantasy football this week.
You're gonna crush me. It's ridiculous. The Packers are 6-3, and then the Bears are 4-4.
Great division, best division in football.
This is the competitive division we all said it was going to be. Like we spent quite a bit of time saying any one of these. Well, I said any one of these teams could make playoffs. The rest of you pushed back on it. So, just saying. I like the Lions and the Packers still to finish over the Vikings. Even the Vikings have proved gettable in the last couple of weeks.
I think this division has the second, the fifth, and the seventh best team in the NFL.
There you go.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vikings obviously number one, best team in the league.
Yeah, of course.
Skull.
I said second, fifth, and seventh, but that's fine. I meant the Vikings number one, of course. No, I think the Vikings right now playing as the fifth best team in football. They have really quality wins that we just did not expect, and they have played tough football inside and out. The Packers have just not been able to stay healthy. That's why I put them at 7. And obviously they have an extra loss. They haven't had the bye week yet that they really do need. But Lions are what they are, man. I'm super sad, by the way, that Branch got suspended this week. That was dumb. Okay. That was armchair quarterback reaction. If
no
I ever
fun
saw one,
league.
like, what are we doing here?
No fun league.
No, the Vikings have definitely exceeded all of our expectations. Packers are exactly who we thought they were going to be. I think the Bears, in my opinion, still the team I thought they were going to be. It's a good, not great team. Their quarterback play holds them back at times. Yes, coaching. And also their offensive coordinator is awful. That's horrible. Shane Waldron is bad.
You're telling me, huh?
You can fire that guy right now. Yes, I am telling you. Like you didn't already know.
I think
I have no idea.
Job at the end of the year.
Yeah,
I honestly think Eberflus and the whole coaching staff might get
just the Bears should go after the Bears should do everything in their power to go after Mike Vrabel.
Yeah,
but we're going to say that about every vacancy.
No, I know, but that's where he should want to go. That's where he should want to go.
That's where I was going to say this team's ready to win, and Vrabel I think could bring in a culture that could.
That's
as
what
long
I'm saying.
As he gets a better offensive coordinator.
I mean, definitely a bit. I would say of what I know is going to be the available openings right now, like in my head, I would say you're going to have the best GM scenario.
Poles is awesome.
I think he's a great GM. The only better situation could be Philly.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
If that becomes available,
I mean,
I think that's a better situation.
I'd probably take Philly, yeah. There is more
Vrabel
talent.
can handle Philly.
Yeah.
Vrabel's bigger than all of them combined.
Yeah.
Bring it on. I'm at the Bear.
Whatever Philly fan is going to attack
how do you guys think this is going to finish, though? Lions take we're all going to between the Vikings and Packers. How do you think that's going to play out?
Healthiest team wins. Straight up. Healthiest team wins. Jordan Love's got to stay on the football field for them to win. I know that Malik's coming in and won 2 games. He is 2-0. They're actually 4-3 with Jordan Love. But I would tell you that they lost 2 of those 3 games with Jordan Love playing on one leg. So that dude fully healthy, that's the recipe for them taking that wild card spot, or at least finishing above the Vikings. I think they're both going to be in, but I think that's really it. But I think it's healthiest team wins here. But let's just not forget it's 7-1 and 6-2. The Vikings could still take the division for sure. It's anybody's game, but I think the Lions are clearly the class.
I think each of these teams still have like 4 division games left, and
Yeah.
and any of these teams can beat another one of these teams. I truly believe.
Yes.
I'm gonna say hot
Bears
take.
could beat the Lions.
Hot take time. I don't think the Packers. I don't think the Packers make the playoffs.
Oh my gosh. Why?
Because I'm gonna say something that I never thought I would say.
Oh no. Hey,
Sam
remember...
Darnold is playing less reckless and making better decisions than Jordan Love.
Okay.
Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No.
Jordan Love's out here throwing like 3 picks in a game. That kind of stuff. That's what he's doing.
It's true.
Yeah, he's playing on one leg and hucking the ball.
And
we're not
Sam
going
Darnold's
to
not.
agree with you.
Okay, but I was just saying, I think the Vikings will make the playoffs. I don't think the Packers will.
I disagree with that. I disagree.
I don't think the NFC. I don't think the NFC is strong enough for the Packers not to make the playoffs.
I'm with that.
That's where
I
think your argument. I think you
know why
Vikings
he's saying
make
it, Mike. You know why he's saying
he wants his
Seahawks. No, dude. At this point,
one reason only.
I am so out on my
Geno
team.
Smith revival.
I am so out on my team. But
good. You should be. They suck.
But I actually have another point there. So that's now that I'm looking at it, I'm realizing how not good the NFC is.
Okay.
And I don't know who else I'd put in.
Are you about to disagree with your own statement?
I don't know because I don't know now who else I'd put in there.
Well, okay. I'll make the case for you. How about the better of the Rams and the Cardinals? Take that spot away from them, because I think we're all going to say what I think we're going to say in a moment, and that becomes a conversation. Mike, get us into the NFC West. We'll say it out loud.
All right, NFC West. I picked the Rams to win, with the 49ers coming in second and both making the playoffs. Everyone else picked the 49ers to win with the Rams coming in second and making the playoffs.
Still fine.
And the Cardinals and Seahawks falling behind. I still believe in my pick.
Yeah, that's fine. You're nuts.
With the Rams healthy and the 49ers struggling, find who they are right now. And maybe just now getting healthy.
Mike, found who they are.
There's an individual who's been off this team for, what is it, 9 weeks now?
Preach. And where's Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua been?
Well, Puka Nacua is currently suspended, so.
Yeah.
That was a weak hit for a suspension. I'm just saying. That was a weak hit for a suspension. Jameson, we got your back on that one. I saw that and went, okay. And?
Bro, Trent Williams fights someone every game.
Yeah, he did.
I was going to say Trent Williams literally took a punch just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. And then he went off and signed that autograph for that little girl while he's leaving the field. And the NFL's like, well, he's still a good guy. They just let it slide. Bro, this is the 49ers division to win. 4-4 going into the break. And why do you say that? Because 3 out of the last 4 years, 49ers have been in similar situations and just gone and beaten the crap out of everybody and still gone to the NFC Championship game. They just this is what happens. It's what they do.
I hate it.
Yes. I understand that you hate it, and you should. You should absolutely loathe that they can just put CMC on the field and go straight to the NFC Championship game. We have no evidence that says that won't happen. None. Mike, they've dealt with a major injury every one of those years, too. A major injury. It still gets there. And Ayuk was not playing well at all.
Ayuk was no difference maker at all.
No, Juwan Jennings is a difference maker.
Yeah.
And he's coming back.
The dude that got shot in August is a difference maker.
Hole in his chest. Hole in his chest.
Playing football 50 days later in the NFL.
I mean, dude, the best meme I think of this season has been the guy who got shot in the chest a month ago is the healthiest wide receiver for the 49ers. That's the funniest. That's the funniest thing ever.
And the most accurate. And that is true.
Yeah.
But legitimately, the Niners are loaded. Offensively, they are going to explode when the best player on that team goes back on the field this week. I know what I'm saying when I say that out loud. Yep.
And I think the Niners are going to be fine. I think the Rams have an easier to a better record.
7-2
because of schedule.
7-2
because of the schedule.
They're going to go 11-6, and the Rams won't. All right, give me the Rams schedule, and then we can get out of this.
All right. Rams play the Dolphins this week.
Dub.
The Patriots.
Dub.
Then they play the Eagles.
Loss.
That could go either way. I think
Probably
it's a loss.
loss.
Then they play the
3-1.
Saints.
Dub.
3-1.
Then they play the Bills.
Loss.
3-2.
Then they play the Niners. That could
3-3.
go anyway. I think.
Shut your mouth. 3-3. Keep going.
Then they play the Jets.
Okay.
Dub.
4-3.
Then they play the Cardinals. Then they play the Seahawks.
Well, Seahawks is a dub. I don't care. Seahawks is a dub. So you can take that to the
5
bank.
and 4. But I mean, seriously though, I'll give
That's
them
9.
that. But
that's 9-8.
The Cardinals are no pushover
I think
right
they
now,
went
man.
10.
And the Cardinals will be playing
I
for a
think they went
playoff
10.
spot right there. So
Maybe we'll see.
yeah, that's. I mean, it's a 9, maybe 10 win. 9, maybe 10 win. You know, okay. Jameson
And the
hates it when I
Niners-
do this, but the Rams and the Niners both struggled with injuries quite a bit, and that is absolutely fair to say. The Rams' identity on defense is just not there. Like it's inconsistent.
I'll give you that. Yeah.
It absolutely is. The Niners have dealt with injuries on both sides of the ball. Hargrave been out. Hafonga's been out. They just re-signed Deshaun Gibson, who's been sitting on the couch to come play safety because there's a chance their rookie Mustafa, who's been a standout for the Niners, isn't going to play this week. So I understand that that's all there, but and I will say both those teams should stay in it, and you're right to say it. I know you would say this, Mike, and I know you're thinking it probably right now. Both those teams should stay in it because their coaching staffs are awesome, both of them. But I just think that when you compare elite player to elite player, the Niners got it. I mean, who's the elite player that's going to shut down an offense on the Rams defense right now? They're young and they're fun. They're good. But who's going to shut guys down? Who's the Warner on that squad? Who's the Bosa on that defensive line?
Versus
who's the Charvarius Ward even on the outside? And I just look at that and go, they just don't have those studs. And that's what's going to get it done at the end. So, I understand I'm homering the piss out of that. Like, that's not lost on me. But I just want to hear the case. So, I know if Jameson was here, he'd try and make one, but
he's not.
The only reason I really give the Rams an edge is because they've already beat the Niners. I think that could be part of that edge.
So all the Niners got to do to take it back is beat them?
And the Niners have lost to the Cardinals already. Those two in-division losses could prove to be gargantuan.
Sure, so the Niners have to win all of the others. I get what you're saying.
Yes, yeah. So they have Niners have no wiggle room, where the Rams have a game that they can wiggle a little bit, right? So that's where
that makes sense.
Statistically speaking, I trust my Niners. I think they're going to come out and just be on fire. But to be real,
you lie. You do not trust your Niners because you text me all the time and you're like, "What in God's name is going on with this stupid team? We're going to lose every game." And that is what Mike does. Just so you know, like he tells me we're going to lose every game. He's always worried. He's always worried. You are always worried.
When the flags are getting thrown on touchdown passes all the time, I'm sorry.
There he comes.
It's been a very big issue this year. I showed you guys that graph where the Niners lead the league in lost yards to penalties and lost touchdowns. They've lost the most points because of penalties. So by a wide margin. So I think
tell those backup tight ends to stop holding. That would be fantastic.
That is actually a huge part of it. Anyway, that was that part. I think I think the Rams or the Niners. I think they both get into the playoffs. That's just my view.
There you go.
I think the Packers and Buccaneers are going to be fighting. So
I want to get to my favorite part of the show. We need to get into Pick'em. Grant's going to take over, and I want him to tell everybody that order has been restored.
Not
the
really.
natural way of things is
Not
exactly
really.
how it should be once again.
You and I being right? Is that what you're saying?
Mostly me being right, but yes, you were allowed to be right still for a little bit longer.
And I will continue to be right.
Though you were wrong more than I was this week, so there's that.
We don't talk about this week. It's the next week, buddy.
Right. That's adorable.
So, all right. First game, maybe one of the best games. I mean, looking at what we've got here, I'd say this is actually the best game of the week. Well, out of our 5 here.
Hey, can we start at the bottom?
We can. Dumpster fire game of the week, toilet bowl. We've got the Giants at the Panthers. We've got Daniel Jones in one corner, and another corner we've got Bryce Young, baby.
Are you sure? Are you sure Dalton's not starting?
It's the clash of the Titans.
But not the Titans.
Yeah, it's the Bryce Young's really tiny, so it's the clash of this short people.
Tinies.
The clash of the Tinies. So we've got the Giants at the Panthers. Toilet bowl of the week.
Germany.
Oh yeah, this was in Munich. This is the game
Munich.
in Germany. Munich. Sorry.
Uncultured swine.
Okay. NFL. If you want to expand your game and make it more popular, this is not the game you pick to be across seas. What is wrong with you? Even before the season, dude, you're putting Daniel Jones across the country to play a football game and represent your organization. That's ridiculous. And then Bryce Young. I apologize for all the fans over in Germany. You don't deserve this. This is terrible, and we're probably gonna lose fans across the country. But Matt, who are you picking?
Hold on, I'm resisting the temptation right now.
Giants.
I'm going to give into it. I'm going to give into it. This is the consequence for World War II. We cannot make a short out of this. You cannot make a short out of this. 100% you can't do it.
I want
to. I know you do. That can be just for us. We're editing all of that out. There's gonna be a little bleep when I go to say whatever I just said.
All right, so Matt, who are you picking? Giants
are gonna win this game because they're not playing in New York. So Danny Dimes is gonna throw 3 touchdowns, and they're gonna win by like 20 or some crap.
Okay, myself, yeah. The Giants at least have Malik Neighbors. I don't know.
Love that joke.
I don't know who the Panthers. I don't know who the Panthers have. I don't know who the Panthers have. So I'm going the Giants as well.
Panthers just traded away their best wide receiver to the Cowboys, right?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
but they got a 4th round pick. So
we'll get Jameson's pick later. Mike,
let's put it on the graphic later.
I'm taking the Giants honestly just because of that defensive line. They actually have a decent defensive line.
Sexy Dexy.
Rule the game. Yep.
Yeah. All right. So doing snake order. So next game, we have the Jets at the Cardinals.
Second worst game of the week on this list.
I think both these teams are actually fairly competent to one another at this point in the league, or at this point in the season. I'm actually gonna go with the Jets though. I think they're running high off of last week, and let's go with Jets.
Did you guys hate me texting you and nearly predicting the score of the Thursday night game last week?
That's actually right about where I had it too, so I wasn't too surprised. I was like, yeah, it actually made me feel better. Of
course, Mike knew. Of course, Mike knew.
Of course,
I mean,
I told you so.
I told you so. Me saying it, that's fine.
I told you so.
I just said it made me feel better about what I thought.
My turn. Jets Cardinals. I'm going Cardinals. They're home, and Kyler Murray is a million times better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers at this point. And yeah, that's where I'm going. Matt?
I agree. Cardinals.
I just like the Jets defense better. That's all. That's all.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense.
All right, here we go. 49ers at the Bucks. Return of CMC. Tampa Bay, Florida. Matt.
Don't ask me. Do I have to say it out loud?
Yeah, I got you. Buccaneers.
Shut your stupid face. I can see you typing.
Yeah, it's
49ers. 49ers are going to win that game.
Yeah.
Handily.
Yeah. It's a bummer that Godwin and Evans are out because I think it'd be more fun. It'd be at least a fun game, I think.
For sure.
It'd be offense and stuff like that.
I would be genuinely worried both those guys were in.
Yeah, that's fair.
I also,
Yeah, the Cardinals, the Bucks just have nothing right now. I love Baker. I think they've got some good pieces, but most of those pieces aren't playing football this week. So, Mike, I'm gonna guess you're going the same.
I'm going Niners. I think the Bucks can score points even now, but
Forget you,
I just
Cade
don't.
Otton.
Yeah, the Niners just have. They're just too big. They're just too big right now, and the Bucks are hurting too much.
And
So,
coming off a bye, like
yeah.
all those things going his way. All the things
Although the
going
Niners
way.
traditionally struggle coming off bye. Just saying that out loud. They do struggle coming off bye.
You mean with all those
It's kind of a
games that
weird
they
thing.
win?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't say they didn't win them. I said they struggled.
They're ugly wins
That
potentially.
Mike's negativity. Go to the next game.
All right, Mike. We've got the Lions at the Texans.
Ooh, is this an upset game, Mike?
It really plays that for me. It really plays into that in Texas, right? Shoot, I'm behind. Give me the Texans.
Lone Star State.
Give me an upset game.
Oh,
Give me an upset game. This is
talked
one of
him
the
into it,
few
Grant.
games I think it's one of the few times the Lions can.
I mean, they're going to lose
be
games.
upset in the next few weeks. Yeah,
they're
they're
going to lose
game
games
somewhere.
Yeah. I'm going to go the Lions.
I'm lying. Give me the Lions. What's wrong with you people? Come on.
Bro, you literally
Jeez.
gave like reasonable points here, and you're like, yeah, give me the Texans.
Dang it.
Give me the Lions.
All right, you didn't do it, so I will. I'm swapping. I'm swapping.
You idiot.
Woo, get it done. Get it done.
Texans, baby. They're gonna do it. I literally was about to say
get it
Lions.
right.
I literally typed Lions, but because of you, I'm doing it, and you're probably gaslighting me, and that's okay.
Yes.
You could get it right. No, I'm telling you, you could get it right.
Thank you, Mike. I believe in myself. I'm going Texans because they've got to lose some games here and there. Matt,
You're an idiot. Lions. Like every time you do it, like I don't understand what compels you.
I don't think
to
I
go back to the stupid
dude,
well.
I don't
keep dipping the cup. Like it doesn't make any sense.
Dude, I don't think I've ever picked the Lions to win a game this season. I picked the Seahawks against the Lions. I picked the Vikings against the Lions. I don't think I picked the Lions to win a game this year.
It's so good.
I have to stick with it now. I'm sticking to my guns.
There you go. You're gonna get it right at some point.
Okay.
No, he's not.
Gonna get it right at some point. Not. All right, I'm gonna go last on this last one.
Okay.
All
right, Matt. You've got the Steelers at the Commanders.
Commanders. Yeah, especially if I heard Lattimore is playing in this game.
Yeah.
And that's just an edge right there. I love it. This will be a knockdown drag out though. I don't think the Commanders are going to be able to sustain their average. I think they come down here probably 24-20.
24-20. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Mike. What you got?
I'm all taking the Commanders. I think their offense is just too good, and they upgraded a little bit on defense. And the Steelers are good on defense, but that offense is going to struggle a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm switching over to my camera for this one.
All right.
Let's see what he says.
Matt, once your camera comes back on, I need you to ask me who I think is going to win this game.
I know what you're going to say.
I need you to ask it. I need to hear you say it. I need you to ask Grant, who do you think's going to win this game?
You think that number whatever?
No.
3?
Ask the question. Ask the question.
Gosh dang it!
Ask the question.
Grant.
Yes.
Who's going to win this game?
I'll tell you. I'll show you.
Jeez, here he goes.
I hate everything about him sometimes.
Boom, baby! Russell Wilson. He's going to win this game. He's going to light it up. Number 3, dangerous. Mr. Unlimited himself is going to win this game, baby. He's going to show up. He's back. He's eating that Danger Witch sandwich, and he's going to win this game. Not the Steelers. Russ himself.
You know, Matt, if they win, we will never hear the end of it.
You will never
until the end of time.
If they win, it's because T.J. Watt murdered Jaden Daniels in the first quarter of this game and broke his body in half.
4 tuds. 4 tuds from Russ. 4.
4?
4.
To who?
He's going to run one. He's going to do a Najee out into the slant. He is gonna have a moonball.
Slant.
Sorry. The flat. That's what I meant. And he's gonna throw a beauty to Pickens. 2 beauties to Pickens. That's what's gonna happen.
Okay.
Bro, I'm with it. If he would have said he was gonna run one, that he was gonna catch one from Pickens, that he was gonna throw one to Pickens, and that somehow he was gonna get, like, while his head was being blown off his body sideways, he was gonna flick a ball over to Freiermuth over the middle, and Freiermuth was gonna drag 9 bodies into the end zone. You could convince me more so.
Russ is so back. But I will say, in all seriousness, this Commanders defense, yes, they got Lattimore, but they still do give up points.
Yeah, they do.
So
you ain't wrong.
To obviously the joke, I do still mean it. I do think the Steelers are going to win, and I think Russ is going to have a good game.
It is strength against strength in this game, right? Commanders offense against Steelers defense. That's really what it is.
Is this the Sunday night game?
I hope so.
Sorry, Mike. I didn't mean to cut you off. That was my bad.
No, I don't.
No, it's 10 a.m.
No, it's the 10 a.m. It's early game. Yeah.
Well, at least for us. At least for us.
Yeah. Suck. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't mean to cut you off. Oh, by the way, the Lakers signed Bronny to the G League today, guys. Just wanted you to know that.
That was coming. Nobody's surprised.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I was just having fun with that. This will be the game of the week, though. I am super looking forward to it. I am pretty proud of us on what we were able to figure out, with our Magic 8 ball at the beginning of the year. Definitely, have done a responsible job. There's been some injuries and a shock or two. I would say the Steelers and the Vikings being the shock of the NFL, in addition to just how well Jaden Daniels has been able to play.
To some people.
Well,
shocker to
Mike,
some people.
You can mute him, right? Like, you can do that.
Let's see.
I'm just so tired of hearing this guy tell me that he
told
me so. Oh, there we go. Beautiful. That'll help me get to the end of the episode. But no, I do think we've done a great job overall with that. Not to pat all of ourselves on the back. We are crushing in Pick'em as a whole this year. Having definitely our best year so far with Pick'em. We've gone. Grant and I have had a couple of 5-0 weeks. I think we've all had a 5-0 week, except for Jameson's had 1-4. He's got 2 4-1 weeks. But
we all have a collective terrible week. We have had that.
Well, that's one. Yeah, but that was when all of the fans lost to the NFL. That was the worst betting week in the last 7 years of the NFL.
You have to unmute yourself.
I don't want to unmute yourself. Yeah, there you go.
Dude,
no, he's still muted.
You have to unmute yourself. Yes. I can ask to unmute, but that's it. There you go.
There he goes.
I was just saying the first couple weeks of the NFL this year were terrible. And nobody knew what was going on.
No one knew what team
the Saints won 2 games in the first 2 weeks of the season, guys.
Blowouts.
Haven't won since.
Yeah. But no, I'm pretty proud of us in that respect. I think what we assumed was going to happen and what we really felt in our gut has come to fruition. We were all aboard that Derrick Henry train from the get. That's been a massive difference maker. We definitely saw that the Chiefs, just like everybody else, the Chiefs were in reload mode. And I would say in this situation where we weren't right, as we stated today, injuries were a major factor in those divisions. Major factor. So it's playing out, mostly the way we thought. Genuinely think that the 2 divisions we talked about in the NFC that we said this is going to be rough. I mean, who knows what's going to happen in both the NFC North and the NFC West. We were completely right about that. And I'm looking forward to the second half of the season and what happens for so many of these teams. A lot of questions to get answered. There's a lot of playoff spots up for grabs. Who's got 4 wins right now that can be a playoff team? I think we're going to see really that trend, as we said it towards the beginning of the season. There's these sections of the season that matter. The next 3 games matter tremendously when it comes to playoff outcome. A lot of divisions games getting played in the next 3 weeks.
You got to separate from 500.
you have to. You cannot keep dragging along. Eventually, that win total's got to slide up. If you want to make the playoffs in this league, you have to win double digits because of the 17 games that are allotted now. You've got to win double digits. So we got to see those teams pick it up here. These next 3 weeks, ton of division games getting played all around the NFL. All in on it. We've got some great matchups coming this week. We got some great matchups coming up the 2 weeks after. It's going to be a fun couple of weeks on our way out here. Our apologies to Germany. Have an enjoyable weekend watching Danny Dimes, and we will see you guys this next week.
See ya.